Hi, I'm the Rogue Reviewer. I've just come back from the cinema. So tonight's film was Iron Lung. So I'm going to give you my thoughts of the film and my overall score. So here we go. So the film is directed, co-written, and stars Mark Fishback. He's a known YouTuber, goes by the name Mark Pliers. He's funded this passion project, which is an adaptation of a video game called Iron Lung. So the premise of the story is it's a distant future where the stars and the planets have disappeared in a cosmic event called the Quiet Rapture. So there's some humans still surviving on a space station for a period of time, but they're running out of materials, supplies, and they discover a moon with a blood ocean. So desperately needing to find new materials, new supplies to keep their humanity alive, they send these convicts, prisoners, into the ocean in these welded submarines. So the story picks up with Mark Fisher's character Simon, where he's welded into a submarine and has to delve the depths of this blood ocean. However, if he doesn't discover anything, he can't come back to the surface. So there's a pressure on him to find something down in this blood ocean. However, at the same time, there's blood kind of slowly oozing into the submarine. There's these voices that he's hearing. There's weird shadows in the depths of the ocean. He's seeing things and hearing things that are in his head. But unfortunately, he can't come back until he discovers. So there's a lot of pressure on him to be able to find something. And all he has is this sonar camera. So he's slowly delving the depths of his blood ocean, just desperately trying to find something to be able to earn his freedom. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away. So straight into this film, I found it a big struggle to work out what was happening. They didn't give too much away in the intro. The first hour was this slow build up of this person in the submarine. I had no idea what was going on. The cinema I was in was packed, and I think it was full of people who played the game, were massive fans of the game. But as a newbie going into this story, I just didn't have a clue what was happening. It had a real, very slow, dark pace. Everything is set within the submarine with the character Simon, so it doesn't really build too much into the world. You can't see what's happening outside of the submarine, and it took a long time for me to catch up where what was happening in the actual movie. Say the tone of the film was good. It was dark. It was bleak. This whole gore effect of the blood dripping into the submarine and other scenes where they show the blood ocean. It works well with the tone of the film. Mark Fishback as as the only actor really. There is a few other actors, but they're more voice actors. He builds into the role. He starts off a bit nervy, but in the second act, he really comes into his own. But the first hour is a slog. I was trying to not fall asleep in the first hour of this film because it was just so dark and so bleak and so slow. But when the second act kicks in, it is an interesting film, and I started to understand what was actually happening in the story. But I was confused for a good hour before I managed to catch up with what was really happening in the story. The the music, the tone was really good. This cinematography was pretty good, considering it was in a small enclosed submarine space. I felt the film could have maybe given a little bit more hints of what was really happening, what was happening in the society in this future, and showing a little bit more than just inside the submarine. The some of the second act, the gore and the visuals of the blood were really gruesome, but done really well. The last act of the film is where the film really comes into it. So it is a very slow build up, but the final act, some of the visuals are fantastic, especially with the bloods pouring into the submarine. They're really gruesome. Mark Fishback's great in the last scene where he's hearing voices and desperately trying to earn his freedom from this difficult situation he's in. I would like to look. I think they could have just expanded on the world a little bit more than the submarine, and it would have been really interesting. Whereas the first hour and a half, you're just stuck with this person in the submarine, and it is really hard to kind of just work out what was happening. When you play a video game, you play that over hours and hours, so you build into it. But in a movie that's just 2 hours, it's hard to gain all the information. Whereas I feel they needed to help the audience understand what was happening. Overall, I probably will watch this film again because I was so confused for the first hour. I think I need to rewatch it just to understand what was happening. Um, I felt this film could have made a few different choices just to help the audience, the ones that didn't know about the video game, who's gone into it blind. So onto my score, I would probably give this a 6.5 out of 10. If you're a fan of the video game, you probably will love this film. If you're a newbie to this film, you're going to struggle probably to understand what's happening for the first hour, like me. But the second half of the film is worth it. It's really gory, really interesting. If you're a horror fan, I think will be for you. But go watch it in the cinema. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment below, and I'll see you on the next one.